the 18th of the month of, that is February, and the year is still 2005. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you on board from wherever you are accessing us from. It could be on Star Times on channel 477, as well as on Zuku, that is on channel 0073. Not forgetting those on Azam on channel 369, and above all the colleagues watching us across the globe. That is on the internet, that is via YouTube and Facebook. We are also very much appreciative and grateful to you also for being part of the discussions. And it being a Tuesday, so many things have already continued to happen in the country. And yesterday, we had the number of people so talking about the arrest of Dr. Kano retired Kizza Besigye, where we did see a number of opposition leaders, most especially those also belong to some of the political parties in Uganda, being barred from accessing him at Luzira government prison. And this 4 days after which we did also receive information about his deteriorating health condition at the government facility in there. But so many things have already continued to be said, and I will be also talking more about that later on. But that is the situation and the current state also really of affairs also happening as far as Dr. Kizza Besigye is concerned. And we did see many people coming out also to talk about this. And this follows also reports of also him being in bad condition, where just a day before we did see yesterday, and we were able to see Minister for Information and National Guidance, Chris Bariomunsi, being able to also visit him in there, and he was able to also say that he was able to also urge him to start feeding, because he is also deteriorating in condition because he is not feeding well. And that's something exactly we did see. And remember earlier this week also really, and earlier this month also really as well, we had the reports that Dr. Kizza Besigye wanted food from outside. But when this food was being taken, at one time we also already saw a number of issues coming out, also arising as far as this matter is concerned, where some people were blocked from also giving food to him in there. But that is something which we did see, and definitely we shall be keeping posted of more information also coming out as far as the arrest of the retired, also a senior opposition political figure is concerned in there. And I will be also discussing more about that. But you, as the viewer, also still can share your thoughts and share your opinions as far as this also matter is concerned. And we are able to see also really people being called upon to also demonstrate in the for the release of Dr. Kizza Besigye. And this was on Sunday evening also, where we were able to see people also coming up with campaigns also to have Dr. Kizza Besigye released in there. But of course, all these issues also have happened, and in Ishaka Bushenyi, matters for Besigye's also freedom also did take place. And that is something which we did see, where supporters of the new political outfit, that is the People's Front for Freedom, abbreviated as the PFF, stormed Ishaka Bushenyi municipality on Sunday, and that was on Monday, sorry, to protest the continued detention of their member, that is Dr. Kizza Besigye. And Dr. Kizza Besigye with several other opposition party loyalists remain incarcerated in prison and in Chitalia government also prison, despite a Supreme Court judgment that ordered for the transfer of their cases and the files from the military court to the civilian courts. Now this leaves me with one question. The question that I also really I'm asking myself this morning is that could the decision of the Supreme Court that was made by the Chief Justice Alphonse Owini-Dolo be maybe annulled? Or it is just that the military is not respecting the decision? Because it was clear. The Supreme Court ruled that the military court is more of a punishment center. It is not also really doing exactly what is expected when it comes to issues of justice administration, because you to be kept in prisons, you are supposed to be subjected to the courts of law. And in this case, we had also the military court. But of course, so many issues have been arising as far as the operations of these military courts is concerned, where people have been talking about issues of people's rights being violated. First of all, the right to get bond has not been respected very much when it comes to issues of the military court operations. And now that we are seeing also really the military court also really not being also being respectful to the decision of the Supreme Court, could it be that two arms also are now also at loggerheads? That is definitely something that remains unknown, because the decision was clear that the operations of the military court must cease, must stop also at the end of the day, and files of all those officials who are being tried also in the military court also must be also transferred. I remember a scenario where a number of National Unity Platform Party supporters were arrested during the 2021 elections only for a number of them to be released this year, as others also were able to be released also after spending years in prison also without proper trial in there. And that is really where some people sometimes feel this is actually a court that is a bit intimidating. But what do you think about it? What do you think can be done to make sure that these issues that we're talking about do not continue to arise? Because if you look at issues of the operations of the military court, quite many times we have had issues where we have had scenarios where people come out to also really judge the operations of these military courts, and the decision also was received with a lot of joy, most especially amongst the politicians aligned with also the opposition. I was able to see them expressing a lot of joy as far as matter is concerned, because this military court, according to them, has been also targeting them. But really, that's something which we didn't see happening. But also really really on the NRA, or what we call also Liberation Day, a speech was made by one of the top dignitaries also in this country, as far as expressing dismay also really about the decision by the Supreme Court. And we did see that also happening, where the first side also, who else that was the CDF, was able to also really express deep concern and also deprecate as far as the decision was concerned, and asked the president, who is also commander-in-chief, to also intervene on this. But this is something which is happening, and we're following up on whether the military will respect the decision that was also taken by the Supreme Court. But you as the viewer still can share thoughts and opinions on this matter that we are discussing as we get to move on. We are 19 minutes after 8 o'clock. Our final destination, of course, remains 9 o'clock. And now there's several protests going on across also different parts of the country, where in the Shaka municipality we did see that happening, and we did see supporters of the PFF also already coming out on the streets to demand for the unconditional release of their member, that is Colonel retired Kizza Besigye. And now the demonstrators carried placards with inscriptions such as Dr. Kizza Besigye and political prisoners must be free, respect court orders please, and free Dr. Kizza Besigye and other political prisoners. These are some of the messages that were carried onto the placards as they kept on moving onto the streets. Now the demonstrators marched around the Shaka town for about 30 minutes or so, but retreated before any confrontation with police, and nevertheless also they promised to return. That is also today, and we are going to be following up and want to see if this, of course, will be going on in that's so as far as that area is concerned. Now the Greater Bushenyi FDC Katonga faction, their branch also chairperson Mr. Gumisiriza said their demo also was to show the discontent by Ugandans against also the illegal detention of the veteran politician and other political also really activists and prisoners who have been detained without proper trial in there. But this is something which is happening, and we hope also the decision shall therefore be respected, and we are still following up on. We want to see how, of course, government will react to these decisions of protest also in there, because for you to come out and demonstrate, much as sometimes it is taken to be bad, maybe as a bad activity, but the constitution is clear and provides also really for you to also have demonstrations in there. That's really where we're expecting you now. If I told you to do it, let's do it cautiously. Let's do it with a lot of care. Let's also remind about other people who may not be part of our demonstrations. Why am I saying this? Many times when people go for demos, we see aspect of looting. Some people come for these demonstrations not because they are also protesting, but they are looking out for opportunities of stealing, because robbery is theft, and that is really something where we say it is very, very much bad. In our region, robbery, whether you steal it, they are the same. That is all called ogu. So I think let's also be mindful, let's also be vigilant as we are going to be also carrying out this demonstration. Above all, let's inform the security cooperatives so that also they can be able to also provide the required security in there. And to the security, let's also learn to respect people's rights. If at all people come to you, if they inform the DPC's office, if they inform the RPC's office, then why would you want to stop them? What reasons, on what grounds do you also stop them? That is something which at the end of the day, we are saying people must learn to respect. Most especially our brothers in uniform, they must also learn to respect that also at times where people also really are demonstrating. It is because they feel touched. It's because they feel certain things may not be going right in the country, and that's why they are moving onto the streets to also really show their discontent to some decisions. And that's where we are saying, if at all your officers are informed, then let's not also maltreat the demonstrators. And that's really something at the end of the day where we shall be knowing our country as a country that is full of peace. Other than that, we shall be having worries and also in there as far as this matter is concerned, and we hope at the right time we shall be seeing also that happen. Now, doctors call for BSJ's release, and we did start happening where medical doctors under their umbrella board, the Uganda Medical Association, have asked the government to also really provide a report on Dr. Kizza BSJ's health and transfer him to Mulago National Referral Hospital for a specialized care in there. Now, addressing journalists at Mulago, that was on Kampala on Sunday, that was February 16th, Dr. Albert Luswata, the president, that is of the session, said they have also written to the Commission of Prisoners requesting a medical report on Dr. BSJ's health, and that is something which we are seeing. Now, they also called for his release, and this was on Sunday during a press briefing also where Dr. Luswata came a day also after the Assistant Secretary General, that is Dr. Joel Mirembe, and he said also he called for immediate release of Dr. BSJ due to his deteriorating health condition under the prison authorities. Now, the Uganda Medical Association also is gravely concerned about the health of, that is Dr. Kizza BSJ, who is currently being detained at Luzira Government Prison, also pending trial for a case for which they were arrested. From Kenya, somebody may be asking, why was he arrested? I really want to inform you that they were arrested also from Kenya together with his counterpart, that is Haj Obed Lutale, where they are also facing charges and facing trial over illegal possession of firearms and ammunition, for which they were picked from Kenya. But of course, many people have been able to also raise concern over this, because they said, if at all a crime is committed in another country, and how is it maybe tried in another country in there? And that is something which we did see happening, where a number of people have also come out to express deep concern over this. Now, Dr. Shamini Nambasa, a pharmacist and a former guild president of Makerere University, and the National Platform Ticket also said they are demanding for the release of Dr. Kizza BSJ, because they believe that even prisoners have a right to get access to good health, and that is as far as this, that is also what we did see happening as far as Dr. Shamim Nambasa was able to also talk about in there, and we are still following up on. We want to see how, of course, this matter will also be ending, but we hope at the right time we shall be also following up on this discussion until the last drop in there, and we are still moving on. We want to see how, of course, you can also be part of the discussions, and you as the viewer still can share your thoughts and share your opinions on how maybe and what this means, the legal, also what we call the legal detention of Dr. Kizza BSJ is concerned. What do you think it is all about, and how do you think this, of course, will be also really impacting on the lives, or maybe access to justice? Because if you look at access to justice, quite many times it has also been a challenge. And how is this going to be impacting on the maybe the progress of this country when it comes to issues of upholding the laws that govern us? You can share your thoughts and share your opinions on the comment section, and I will be reading through it later on. But as far as that matter is concerned, we are still following up and want to see how, of course, this will be ending. We are still moving on, and so many things have continued to happen in the country as well. And we were able to see yesterday a number of the day schools receiving back the learners, that is for senior one education, and I was able to move to some of the schools. I was at Arabic Secondary School, one of the schools in a rural city, and I was able to see the numbers of students who reported for day one was quite overwhelming, where they were being oriented at the main also library in there, and so many issues also were being told to the students and then to the parents. My appeal will be that let's also learn to give time for, let's engage with them, let's advise them as they are enrolling for another level of education. Let's also give them time and sensitize them that this is totally different from primary. In primary, you might not also have been reading, but it's time that you start reading, because secondary is all about readings, and secondary is all about concentration, most especially under the new competence-based curriculum, where marking or assessment starts right from senior one, and then it's high time also really this person must be very, very much serious with education. And we hope at the right time our children also will be getting the kind of performance, but of course many people also did not understand the new curriculum also in there, and this has left many people also in limbo. But we hope at the right time people will be understanding this new curriculum, that the grade 1 does not mean first grade. It means that the learner has qualified for another level of education, but it's also something which we are seeing where many people also feel it is Division 1. Most especially relating it to what we had previously, and I really want to say this has left many people also maybe in confusion, because many people are not understanding what this new grading system is all about. And it goes back to the learners to explain to their parents that this is the meaning of the new also interpretation of the curriculum, and grade 1 means this, and the courseworks also that are marked also mean this and that. It's also something we must also really explain to our parents also in there, and this goes to the learners, and we hope at the right time also we shall be keeping also more information so relating to that in our subsequent programs, and I will be also giving more details as far as more also issues of learners reporting for school is concerned. Let's also be mindful, because within this week, let's be careful. Let's send our learners to school. This goes to the parents, most especially who are not able to send their children over the weekend for the boarding section. And then for those who are not also able to send their learners for day 1 in the day sections, also let's be very, very much also serious. Let's work hard. Let's also send them back to school, maybe before today and tomorrow also in there, so that also they will be at par with their colleagues who have already reported. Leaving the children also in confusion to also start grasping concepts, not from day 1 in secondary, may also confuse them. You may find that somebody is going to be confused through biology, through chemistry, right from day 1, because within this first week, basically they are going to be introductions. Yesterday was for orientation. Today they will be also studying what the subjects are all about. I remember in senior 1 when we joined, the first topic also was what is history, types of maybe components of history, and why we must study history. That was the first lesson also I was able to also undertake in the update. I've never forgotten that. Then let's also be mindful that our children also should not as well as miss this opportunity of also really studying these also the parts, and that is really where we're going to be posing discussions. I hope you are having a good time with us right from the different places where you're accessing us from. With that, we're taking a short commercial break. My name is Farish Majid, and when we get back, the discussions will be able to follow. Stay tuned.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. In the dance of shadows and light lies the heart of Uganda's resilience amidst the challenges of the night, where innovation meets necessity and education refuses to be dimmed, where connection thrives in the absence of power. Embrace the power of the sun with StarTime's solar range of solutions. And empower your journey towards a brighter tomorrow. StarTimes Solar. Power your life.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back into the second half of the show, and we are still moving on with the discussions. And earlier we were talking about the deteriorating condition of the retired Colonel Kizza Besigye, who is currently under detention at Luzira Government Prison. Many issues have already been said, and the family members also have confirmed that his condition is really deteriorating, and that is why they are demanding for his release so that he can be able to access medical care in there. And that is something which is happening, and I ask you to share your thoughts and opinions, and you can still keep them coming through, and what this means to the justice system of this country when it comes to just administration. Is it also properly being done? Are we respecting the laws of this country? Are we respecting the decisions of some authorities, or the military is still on top? Because we did see many people expressing fear and also expressing dismay in there, and we did see that also coming through from some of the military officials. But of course, we wouldn't also want to discuss more about that. But as we get to move on, we did see also so many issues of continue to happen in the country, and recently we did see also really one of the legislators passing on. That is Honorable Muhammad Segirinya, who was representing Kawempe North in there as a member of parliament, who died. But now plans are underway to also have him be also really replaced in there, where we did see also issues also coming up, where National Platform Party was able to show and also organize a debate for the 10 members of parliament who also wanted to also vie for the ticket, and the aspirants also who were about 10 in there who wanted to also take the flag to replace that is the late Honorable Segirinya, who died. And this is something which is happening, and one of the persons who also was vying for the ticket is his personal assistant, that is Muhammad Lusua Luemba. And now information coming out also from there indicates that Muhammad Lusua to contest as independent in Kawempe North by-election. That means he wasn't happy when the ticket was given to Council that is Nalukola, That means he wasn't also really happy in there, and that is one thing we did see happening, because National Unity Platform Party was able to give the ticket to lawyer that is also the Luemba in there. But that's something which we did see happening, and that is also where we were able to see now Muhammad Luswa Luemba, a former aide to the late Muhammad Kayempe North Member of Parliament. Muhammad Segirinyo also has announced his bid to contest as an independent candidate in the upcoming by-election after failing to secure the National Unity Platform ticket. And addressing his supporters, Luemba expressed disappointment with the decision that is to also endorse city lawyer, that is Elias Luimba's Nalukola, as its flag bearer, and he claimed that the main residents asked him to run, arguing also that the party had chosen to the wrong candidate, and that's something which is happening. And now, despite also running as an independent, Luemba reaffirmed his loyalty to National Unity Platform Party, but he says that his decision was in the best interest of the people of Kayempe North in there. Now the Kayempe North seat became vacant after the demise of Honorable Muhammad Segirinyo, who died after battling illness for quite a long period of time. Segirinyo had won the constituency, that is for NUP, on NUP ticket, that is in the 2021 elections, making it the stronghold also for the opposition party in there. Now National Platform Party officially also endorsed Nalukola as its flag bearer for the forthcoming by-election, which also was highly competitive in selection, where a number of people expressed interest, and the post now indicated that Luemba also even went as far as changing his name and religion also in his bid for the party's endorsement. Now with the by-election set for March 13th, which is not very far from now, because if you look at today is 18th, and 13th also of next month is when we shall be seeing this by-election coming. And what does this also mean, and where will this leave the current biggest opposition party in Uganda? Because if you look at NUP currently, it is the leading opposition party, given the fact that they have the highest numbers of members of parliament also from the opposition in there. And that's something which is happening, and with the by-election set for March 13th, the race is shaping to be highly also contested, as several candidates now prepare to also challenge NUP's stronghold in the constituency in there. But as far as this matter is concerned, we shall still be keeping you updated. And what do you think this will be implying to the party, most especially today's candidates who have been selected in there? And that's something which we may also see happening now. We did see also Nalukola saying, I may not be a foot soldier, but a foot lawyer. Nalukola also did also talk about in there. And if you look at the foot soldiers, these are actually the supporters of the National Unity Platform Party. Now the Kayempe North by-election aspirant, that's Elias Nalukola, has said that although some may overlook his contribution to the National Unity Platform Party, his work was also as a seasoned also lawyer should not be disregarded. And a former member also of the Democratic Party, Nalukola, was recently elected as the new flag bearer also for the upcoming Kayempe North by-election. And aspiring also, while appearing on one of the televisions, Nalukola also acknowledged that there also may be skeptics regarding his ability to serve the community, but he is determined to prove them wrong over time, and ultimately also regarding also their support also will be of great immense support in there. But that's something which is happening. And what do you think, and who do you think will be the winner in the Kayempe North by-elections? We shall be seeing also that, and we shall be also talking more of that in our subsequent programs. And 13th is not very far from now. We hope at the end of the day we shall be also discussing more about that. And that's something which is happening, and we hope at the right time also we shall be seeing more information. But now information also coming through yesterday that the brother to the principal of National Unity Platform Party, Robert Kyagulanyi, also was arrested. And now Fred Nyanzi, who is the elder brother to Bobby Wine, commonly known as, also was said to be abducted. Now the head of mobilization, that's for the National Unity Platform Party, Fred Nyanzi, also was reportedly being abducted. That was on Monday evening also, where Nyanzi's brother Robert Kyagulanyi, who also leads NUP, also stated that Fred was taken by heavily armed men and transported also in a drone to an unknown location. And that's something which we did see happening. And where he is what remains unknown, and we are waiting for communication from the government or from the National Unity Platform Party as far as this matter is concerned. Now Kyagulanyi added that Nyanzi was seized at Kubiri roundabout, and according to the leader of opposition, Joel Nyanzi was abducted just moments after they had finished also a meeting at NUP headquarters in Kavule. And after also the writing also of this police has not also commented on the claims of Nyanzi's abduction. Now the information comes hours after Tagwa is saying 2 of NUP members, Rashid Chinobe and Sharif Chiemba, had been abducted by men in plain clothes, and that means we are already seeing issues of abductions returning, but this goes to those who love putting on the red attire. What is the future like? What remains of you, and how ready are you for these abductions, and are you willing? These are issues that remain. These are questions that should be running at the back of your mind. And how determined are you maybe for the forthcoming elections, where many people are now worried, where many people have been able to also echo concern as far as this matter is concerned, but we shall be keeping you posted as far as this matter of abductions is concerned. We are waiting for a report from police and also from the NUP, also the leaders in there as far as the head of their mobilization is concerned, and we hope he will be also identified, and he will be also known, maybe identified where he is in there, and that's something which is happening, and we hope at the right time also we shall be also really talking more about that. Now, leaving that discussion aside, there's an incident that happened in Madiokolo, quite regrettable, and many people as well have been talking about these issues where over 200 plus huts were banned. Very quite absurd and very much embarrassing at the same time, and the information also that comes through is that one of the parties also really went for a funeral, also the party, not funeral, right? Also they were for a wedding, also the ceremony. But when they were in for the ceremony, also in there, an incident happened because one of the parties had come through with the music system, and at the music system also a fight ensued where a colleague was beaten. What happened? A clan was able to revenge over also this incident which had left one person dead. And what happened? More than 300 houses are now said to be burnt, and police was able to intervene and calm the situation, and really we want to thank the Western Police also for making that quick intervention. But still over 300 houses are now being burnt. The people are now living homeless, and now they're living also really in fear of also the further attacks. But information that comes through from police is that the area also has received heavy deployment of the military and the police also to calm the situation in there. And now the suspects who are behind also this attack are currently said to be on the run. But what does this mean, and where does this leave the country at as far as we are talking about issues of mob action? That means mob action remains a challenge. And then the issues of destruction of property. This is actually another law under which these people may be charged. Because if you look at arson, if you look at destruction of property, these are different laws. You may also find yourself under several trials. That means we must also avoid issues of taking the laws in our hands. This goes to the communities. Community sensitization about issues of their rights is really something which we must always take serious in there. Because if at all we're not giving time to sensitize the communities about what the laws are saying, then we are going to be seeing people landing also on the wrong side of the law in there, where they will be charged. Currently now they're on the run. Where they remain also unknown. Now they're going to be fleeing and also leaving their home states in there, and just because they were able to also really have this matter, and was able to also really hear now also really the 85 chairperson saying the measures to bring the two parties on board, to also make sure they harmonize this matter. And the clan elders are currently being engaged by the security leaders also of Madiokolo district in there, and we hope at the end of the day we should be able to solely address some of these issues. And really I want to say it is very much bad for us to be still taking issues of the laws in our hands, because at this time I believe we should be talking on ways of how best we can be able to improve our performance, given the fact that in the last year's primary living examination we only had 3 first grades. Only 3. 1, 2, 3 in Madiokolo, the entire district, right from Okolo up to Ribo. But we're not minding of that. I think it's something also we should be able to solely now devise means to, and people, as people of Madiokolo district, it's high time that issues of taking the laws in our hands to stop. Let's turn our focus. Let's see how we can talk development. Let's see how now we can talk about issues of progress. Because if at all that's not the case, then Madiokolo district will be remaining where it is. And that would be very, very much bad. And one to also really say issues of taking laws in the hands must stop, and issues of local discourse, or what we call discourse in ungazetted places, should stop. The leaders must now work hard, and I believe this is partly coming through sometimes because of politics. If we say let's ban the discourse, if a bylaw is passed, why don't we respect the bylaws? If it's not there, why don't we pass an ordinance as far as issues of also moderating activities of the discourse is concerned, because it's another factor that is said to have contributed to the poor performance of academic also performance in this region. Not only the Madokoro district, but the entire West Nile is actually facing issues of poor performance, mainly resulting from the ungazetted discourse, where people are not also being controlled, where learners are allowed to access some of these facilities. So I think it's high time that as leaders of these districts, let's be mindful, let's see how best we can be able to solely address some of these issues. And I believe politics could partly also be contributing to this rampant, or what we call the continuous discourse. But I believe my appeal to the leaders should be that let's also really limit the discourse operators. Let's reduce on the numbers. Let's also really devise, let's make it actually hard for them to run the discourse so they can be able to solely reduce on the numbers of people coming out for this discourse. Because if you look at also the issues arising in discourse, quite many times we are having challenges where people are being beaten, where others are being killed, where our girls are being defiled, where the girls are being raped. All these are emerging as a result of a discourse. And today, as a factor, we have had issues of young teenage mothers in the districts of Madokolo and some neighboring districts, simply because we allow the discourse to run. Where do our girls go at night? They sneak and go for this discourse. And who call them for this discourse? It is the boy child, whom we live also without also really guiding. And at the end of the day, we are seeing people having unprotected sex, which results into, first of all, the young teenage pregnancies. Today we are having children mothers and the children parents who are still young and who do not know exactly what to do when it comes to raising a child. Today, if we are not also worried, we are going to be having grandmothers at 30. So I think that's something which at the end of the day, if at all we want to see development in this country, it's high time that we start also really devising new means of addressing this issue here. And the situation in Madokolo should serve as also as an experience, most especially to the neighboring districts of Arua and Tego, where this also could be happening. And let's also really draw proper attention to this matter as far as that is also really concerned in there. And we hope at the right time we shall be seeing an end also to what we call the rampant discourse that has been eating up our society slowly but surely in there. And we hope at the right time we shall be seeing an end now to this continuous also really discourse. With that, we are coming to the end, but before that, we shall still be looking at what's happening internationally, and the US and Russia also to begin talks at aiming the Ukraine war, and that's something also which we are seeing where US and Russia are also due to hold talks in Saudi Arabia about the war in Ukraine. And the first also the face-to-face discussions between the two countries is also since Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine took place. And Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will also meet US Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Riyadh this morning. But neither Ukraine or any European countries are invited also for this highly engaged meeting. Now the US says that the talks are a first step, that is to see if Russia is serious about ending the war, while Russia says their goal is to normalize its relations with America. But also the Ukrainian president, that is Volodymyr Zelensky, says it will not also recognize any agreements reached also from talks if it is not involved in, and that's really where Ukraine also feels they must be involved between the talks also between US and Russia. This is also in relation to how peace can now return in that country that suffered. If you look at also the cities of Russia like Kiev, Kiev also have been destroyed. Today we have had scenarios where schools were destroyed, hospitals as well not spared. And that is how far as war is very dangerous in there. And we hope at the right time this war will come to an end. It's not the only war. We're also seeing in Palestine where war is still going on. We hope at the right time we shall be seeing also an end also to the kind of also war also happening in the world. And I want to live in a world that is peaceful, and that would at the end of the day also play a great role in the country's also developments. And that's where we shall be seeing development of the world. But where we still have war, then at the end of the day countries are going to be dragged behind in there. And that's where we're going to leave the discussion aside with. And as we get to move on, as always, we summarize the day with what's happening in the world of sports. Now talking about what's happening in the world of sports, All the focus in West Nile sub-region has now been drawn towards the Uganda Cup, where one of the clubs within West Nile will be also hosting another top club in the Ugandan League, that's Kampala Capital City Authority, which will be hosted by that's a team known as Kluva, also Rainbow in there. And that's something also where attention has been drawn, where the focus has also been, where many people are waiting to see, of course, if the West Nile regional side will eject the top Ugandan league in there. But surprises have been also part of the Uganda Cup. We never know. The small club also may also shame the big one, and we hope at the right time we shall be seeing that also happen. More details to Uganda Cup will be coming through also in the winter time with Owen Zaga. That's from the hour of 2 to 3 p.m. where he will be giving a comprehensive and detailed analysis and statistics of how these teams have encountered and how, if it's the very first time, and what chances or maybe either of them can beat the other. More detail of that will be coming through with Owen Zaga or Benson Pastore, who will be here from 2 to 3 p.m. to give a comprehensive, detailed, and also the comprehensive analysis of what's happening in the world of soccer in there. We hope at the right time they will be giving also that detail in there. Meanwhile, in the 4 big leagues, people are still counting down the days to see, of course, the 4 big league will be returning, and we hope at the right time also we shall be seeing the 4 big league also returning, and we want to see, of course, our clubs also are getting ready in there. And if you look at also the 4 big league, it is set also to return on also the 2nd of next month in there, where we shall be seeing Arua Hill hosting Blacks Power in that Northern Derby in there, as Buhimba will be hosting Western Side Midco Cavalry, and Kataka also will be up in action against Busoga United, as Gaddafi will be hosting on Karo Karunji still on the same date, as Maida will be going on, that is to host Chinda Boys still on the same day, on the same fixtures, as Ondupolaka also will be up in action against Paida Black Angels in the West Nile Derby in there, and a game that also which many people must now start saving for, and must also not make it also miss out on this game, because if you miss out, then you are going to be missing out a lot when it comes to how the 4 big league is. And remember, the remaining games are actually a do or die for all teams that want to also get qualification to the Southern Uganda Premier League come next season in there. And that means they are also taking all the remaining games as serious in there, where it must also be that if you lose now, your chances of qualification for the Southern Uganda Premier League next season also will be reduced in there. And that means, if at all the teams are not also organizing themselves now, then they will be also missing out in there. And that is where we are now also looking at Southern Uganda Premier League, which is our top Ugandan league. We had also very many games being played yesterday, as Kitara was able to beat Sotindo by Stars by 2 goals to 0. Mbarara City did go also fall in the hands of VPD by 1 goal to net at Kacheka, as Kampala Capital City Authority the day before yesterday was beaten by Vipers Sports Club. And the games also will be returning, and we shall be seeing the Southern Uganda Premier League returning also in the 1st of next month, where we shall be seeing Bright Stars taking on Bull, as Kitara will be hosting URS Sports Club, and Bali Heroes also will be returning in the action against Police, and NEC FC, where Rebecca's son Sali is playing, will be hosting Lugazi, and Maroons will be up in action against KC, who lost recent Vipers, as UPDF will be returning in action against Villa also in the coming also fixtures in there. And that's how interesting it is, and hope at the right time also you will be getting yourself interested in the world of soccer, and more details will be coming through. That is from 2 to 3 p.m. in there. Remember, for those who love soccer, Owen Zaga will be giving a detailed also information also happening in there. Meanwhile, at the top also leagues, at the European leagues, we also had in the championship also the game where we did see Leeds United beating Sunderland by 2 goals to 1. For those who know soccer, who have followed soccer for quite a long period of time, then definitely you must be knowing the teams like Leeds and Sunderland. Definitely you will be knowing that. And meanwhile, La Liga, we were able to see Barcelona also beating Rayo Vallecano by a goal to 0, and we shall be seeing also the action returning tonight also in the Champions League, which is actually the League of Men, where we shall be seeing AC Milan in the knockout stages. That's in the round of playoffs. We shall be seeing them beating also hosting Feyenoord in there, as Atalanta will be playing Club Brugge Bayern Munich will be up in action against Celtic, as Benfica will be returning in action against AS Monaco in there, and we shall be seeing that also coming through. Meanwhile, tomorrow we shall also still be seeing more action coming through, as Borussia Dortmund will be hosting, that is Sporting CP, as PSV Eindhoven will be hosting Juventus. Paris Saint-Germain will be playing, that is Brest, as Real Madrid hosts, that is Manchester City, in the return leg also of these games in there. And we shall be keeping you posted of more also games coming through. Meanwhile, in the English Premier League tonight, tomorrow night we shall be having also a game that's between Aston Villa and Liverpool. And with that, we come to the end of the show. Up next also is the ALA's news bulletin. We are out until tomorrow. My name is Farish Majid. Have a blessed day. I'm out.